Oscar winner Emma Thompson revealed Donald Trump once asked her out on a date on the day she divorced her ex-husband Kenneth Branagh. The Harry Potter actress revealed the story at the Locarno Film Festival in Switzerland Saturday, telling the audience that she was in her trailer while filming Primary Colors when she received a call from the then-future president. He said, "Hello, this is Donald Trump." I thought it was a joke and asked, "How can I help you?" Maybe he needed directions from someone, she joked, per the Telegraph. Then he said, "I'd love you to come and stay at one of my beautiful places. Maybe we could have dinner," she recalled. Thompson, 66, said she let Trump down gently, adding, "I said, well, that's very sweet. Thank you so much. I'll get back to you." The time, Trump had just gotten divorced from his second wife Marla Maples, with whom he shares daughter Tiffany Trump. Reps for the U.S. president did not immediately respond to Page Six's request for comment. Thompson married Branagh, 64, in 1989 after 2 years of dating. However, the marriage ended in 1995. The time, the stars cited their busy work schedules as the reason for their split. But it was later revealed that the Hamlet star had begun an affair with Helena Bonham Carter while they played love interests in the 1994 film Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. In 2022, Thompson opened up about the affair in an interview with The New Yorker. "I was utterly blind to the fact that he had relationships with other women on set," Thompson told the outlet. "What I learned was how easy it is to be blinded by your own desire to deceive yourself." She went on to share that she was only half alive when she and Branagh decided to divorce. Thompson has since moved on with husband Greg Wise, with whom she shares 2 children, daughter Gaia, 25, and adopted son Tindy, 36. The memory of that phone call, coming on such a personally turbulent day, has stayed with Thompson for decades, not because she was tempted, but because of how surreal it was. It was a moment that seemed to blend the absurdity of celebrity life with the deep, private chaos of heartbreak. She has spoken about it with a certain wry amusement, as though she still can't quite believe the timing, or the fact that Trump thought it would be an opportune moment to invite her into his world of marble foyers and gold-plated everything. To understand why that phone call struck her so oddly, it helps to remember where Thompson was in her life at that time. Professionally, she was ascending to what many would later call her golden era. She had already proven herself as one of Britain's most formidable acting talents, with an Oscar for Howard's End and critical acclaim for roles that demanded nuance, wit, and emotional precision. But personally, she was fragile, trying to hold together a marriage that had been weathered by distance, artistic ambition, and a betrayal she hadn't yet fully comprehended. When Branagh's affair with Helena Bonham Carter came to light, it didn't just wound her, it cracked open her understanding of trust. The time of their divorce, the public explanation of busy schedules felt safe, polite, and typical of celebrity statements. But behind that was a grief that was both intimate and humiliating. Thompson has since admitted that she blamed herself, not because she had done anything wrong, but because she could not yet see that the betrayal was a reflection of him, not her worth. She described herself as half alive, a phrase that speaks volumes about the emotional numbness she carried. And then, on that very day, her phone rang. She was sitting in a trailer on the set of Primary Colors, a political dramedy loosely inspired by Bill Clinton's presidential campaign, when her assistant passed her the receiver. She heard the unmistakable Queen's accented voice of Donald Trump introducing himself as though she should already know who he was. She did know vaguely. Trump was the brash New York real estate mogul who owned hotels, casinos, and whose name was already synonymous with excess. He was also a man fresh from his own divorce, in which his split from Marla Maples had been splashed across tabloids. Thompson thought it was a prank. The absurdity of it was almost cinematic. The newly divorced British actress playing an American political spouse in a film about power and ambition, receiving an actual phone call from a man who embodied a very different brand of both. Trump's pitch was swift and unmistakably Trumpian, an invitation to one of his beautiful places and a dinner, delivered in the tone of someone offering an irresistible opportunity. Thompson, even in her grief, recognized the self-assurance, the assumption that she would be intrigued enough to consider stepping into his orbit. But she declined politely. She has said she didn't feel offended or even particularly flustered, she just wasn't interested. It wasn't about him being Donald Trump, it was about her being Emma Thompson in a moment when she needed to protect herself. She didn't need the kind of attention or spectacle that dating Trump would inevitably bring. She needed to rebuild, to rediscover the parts of herself that had been eroded in the slow unraveling of her marriage. Years later, when telling the story, Thompson has emphasized the odd timing rather than any sense of scandal. In interviews, she has turned it into a humorous anecdote, playing up the shock of hearing his voice and the polite but firm way she declined. Yet there's an undercurrent to the tale, a reminder that celebrity lives are peppered with moments that would seem unbelievable to anyone else. To most people, a divorce is a private agony, a quiet dismantling of a shared life. For someone like Thompson, it's a day when you might still be fielding calls from Hollywood agents, co-stars, and, apparently, Donald Trump. Trump himself has never publicly confirmed the call, and perhaps he doesn't even remember it. In the mid-1990s, he was navigating his own mix of business ventures, public appearances, and personal reinvention after his split from Maples. His name was already a brand, and part of that brand involved being seen with beautiful, accomplished women. Asking Emma Thompson out might have seemed to him like a natural thing to do. For Thompson, though, the call has become less about Trump and more about the way life can drop absurdities into your lap at the most inappropriate times. It's about the juxtaposition of public image and private reality. Outwardly, she was still the acclaimed actress stepping into a new role, maintaining composure and grace. Inwardly, she was absorbing the finality of a marriage ending, grappling with feelings she would later articulate with remarkable honesty. When she has spoken about Branagh in recent years, she's done so without bitterness, though she admits the betrayal left a scar. Her eventual marriage to Greg Wise, whom she met on the set of Sense and Sensibility, has been marked by stability and mutual respect, something she clearly values after the turbulence of her earlier years. They have built a family together, raising their daughter Gaia and adopting Tindi, a former child soldier from Rwanda whom they welcomed into their home and lives. These later chapters in her life speak to a resilience that was forged in part by the painful endings she endured in the 90s. It is perhaps this resilience that allows her to recount the Trump story with a twinkle in her eye. It's funny now, in the way that certain life moments become funny when enough time has passed. But it also serves as a snapshot of a very specific time in her life, a crossroads where heartbreak, professional success, and the unpredictable nature of fame collided in one surreal phone call. Over the years, fans have latched onto the anecdote not because it reveals something profound about Trump, but because it reveals something about Thompson, her poise, her wit, and her ability to turn even the strangest encounters into stories worth telling. She has never portrayed herself as the victim in that moment, nor has she used it to criticize him. She simply tells it as it happened, letting the absurdity speak for itself. And perhaps that's why the story endures. It's not about politics or gossip. It's about timing, coincidence, and the strange ways our lives can intersect. It's about the image of Emma Thompson, alone in her trailer, answering the phone on the day her marriage ended, and hearing that unmistakable voice offering dinner and a stay at one of his beautiful places. It's about the choice she made in that instant to protect her own space, to decline politely, and to carry on with her day.